Yeah, obviously very, very sad news, and I'm certain that the National Association of Democratic Lawyers were very, very sort of saddened by all of this. Of course, he was, was one of the founding members of this. What was it like working with him?
It feels like we've lost a father figure, it really does. It was humbling to work with him because what he reminded you always was it was about the goal and it wasn't about you. And it was about getting to certain results, and if it required hard work, you'd have to put yourself through it. So he's a guiding light, and it was a privilege to have had him, and in my specific situation to have been able to work with him.
Yeah, as a person, you know, let's talk about the person behind the incredible lawyer. What was he like?
He had a very wry sense of humor. There's a naughty smile that I think quite a few individuals have seen on TV in his appearances at court that would belie an appreciation for other human beings that was incomparable to others. As a human being, that's what he was. He was somebody that was a pleasure to be around, somebody that enjoyed everyone else and appreciated what anyone had to offer, no matter what their station, no matter what their place.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we really have. We've seen our justice system cover some ground, and it really has been transformed a lot. And I'd say that the Chief Justice was a part of the transformation and a massive part of it. What do you think his legacy is?
I think one of the first elements of his legacy is precisely to focus on the result. His humility, and it has been spoken of, but the extent to which he said, do the work, get the result, and think about other human beings always first. I think that's one of the most marking truths about this man. I also think that we often think of individuals, unfortunately, at their passing, focusing on what they just last did, what was their last achievement. Pius Langa's contribution to the justice system, to the constitution of our country, dated back to the 70s. Yeah. This is a man who taught us that you could work your way through adversity and reach the highest peaks. This is a man who consistently, persistently worked towards the development of our constitution, and thereafter worked persistently and consistently, as always, towards its entrenchment, towards not just having the Constitution as a document, which he contributed to, but also making it alive, making it something that we could actually enjoy for decades, centuries to come.
Yeah, yeah. We always remember his stance when it came to corporal punishment. I mean, that was a massive one. I mean, remind us of that.
His stance generally about human rights and anything that might affect the integrity of a human being was extremely strong. He was unbelievably unwavering in his views about the fact that you did not treat another human being as anything less but just that, under any circumstances, and there would be no excuses for diverting from that principle. He, bear in mind, applied that in his life, in his day-to-day life. He applied that in his interaction with his staff, as well as into his interaction with his children.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my next question to you would be, what was his passion? But I mean, everything that I'm gathering from you is that human rights was his passion, people were his passion.
Human beings were his passion, yes. I mean, he enjoyed music as well. He enjoyed the God joke, he enjoyed the good book. But human beings generally, yes.
Yeah. Well, what about the lessons that you've learned from him? What will you take with you?
That everybody has something to contribute, and that it's important to actually do what you can. We may not all get the opportunity to work at the level that Pius Langa did, but that does not take away from our ability to contribute, to make a difference, to do something worthwhile for our fellow man.
Yeah. I want to just play a clip very quickly.
Sure.
Have a look at this, and then my next question will follow.
As long as poverty, homelessness, disease and illiteracy ravage our people and are still a feature of the lives of many, existing side by side with those who are privileged and who have everything before them, our job, yours and mine, will not have been accomplished.
Those words. I think those words are, I mean, I get goosebumps just listening to that, because that's a man that cared about a country. Absolutely. And that country being South Africa. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in his mind, it started with your neighbor and went all the way down. It had nothing to do with having a personal connection with your fellow man. And when I hear those words, it just brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
It's exactly who he was. It's how he thought of the world, and he thought of the law as a means by which to contribute specifically to that goal.
Kanya, thank you for talking to us. Thank you for coming in and visiting us and sharing his legacy with us. And such an incredible man, really. And I think the more we celebrate him, the better. And the more we live in his legacy, the better a country I think that we'll be living in. Kanya Jele is the Publicity Secretary for the National Association of Democratic Lawyers. Thank you. And
Thank you for having
condolences
me,
to all of
Leanne.
you. It's a pleasure.